A woman disappears without a trace.
Hello. Hi. How you doing, sir? Good. Have you seen her from your neighbor?
No, not today.
A man with a secret.
Hi. Detective Capital, Lakewood Police. How are you? Speak English a little bit. Okay. All right, come on in here.
But one call would change everything.
Lakewood Police and Fire.
Hi, yes, I have information about a missing person.
Okay.
What started as a missing person case slowly unravels into something far more sinister. The truth was never gone, just buried. When a 24-year-old single mom went missing, it seemed as though she had run away. Everyone stayed cooperative, but things weren't what they seemed. This is the story of Roaa Al Dhanoon, a missing person case that slowly unraveled into something far darker. Lakewood Police are sent to check on a missing woman on the 19th of October 2016. Her name is Roaa Al Dhanoon, an employee of a local restaurant called Aladdin. When she hadn't shown up to work in 3 days, one of her co-workers raised the alarm, and by 3 p.m., officers had arrived at her apartment. It's often a false alarm, especially when reported by co-workers, but something is foreboding about this. While waiting, a sour smell floats down from the apartment. They knock again, more concerned now. The odor is strong, the kind that signals something is wrong. With no visible signs of distress and no legal grounds to break in, they follow protocol and call building maintenance for a spare key. Waiting in the hall, they speak to a neighbor.
Hello. Hi. How you doing, sir? Have you seen her from your neighbor?
No, not today.
When's the last time you saw her?
I haven't seen her in a couple of days. Haven't seen
Couple of
her
days. How often do you usually see her?
maybe once or twice a week, but I do at least see the car.
He hasn't seen Roaa in a few days either, but that seems normal to him. He further tells them she lives with her 3-year-old son, so he should have seen one of them. They check the garage for her car, which is missing. The officers head back upstairs and wait, overwhelmed by the overpowering stench. A maintenance man finally opens the door, and the scene inside confirms their fears. The place is eerily quiet as the officer announces himself.
Lakewood Police! Anybody home? Lakewood Police!
Roaa's bedroom appears ransacked. Clothes and personal items are scattered everywhere. Drawers and cupboards are left open. Could it be a burglary or a hasty search, since all valuable items are untouched?
Not yet.
Her son's room, though, has packed bags by the bed, as if someone had planned to leave but never did. In the kitchen, the source of the strong smell is finally revealed. A jug of spoiled milk and chicken sits on the counter, cooked but untouched. It looks like a meal had been interrupted and abandoned. To add to the mystery, there seem to be no signs of a break-in. Someone left in the middle of everything and never came back. They decide to question people from her workplace to investigate further. Roaa came to the US in 2014 as a refugee from Iraq, along with her husband. Unfortunately, he was an abusive man, and it took all her courage to escape the situation. They eventually divorced, and by 2017, she gained full custody of their 3-year-old son. Rebuilding her life, she was working at Aladdin. Her co-workers only had good things to say about her. That's when a name came up: Hamza Balil. He was the only male co-worker in her circle, and possibly the last person known to have seen her. On October 22nd, 2016, detectives brought him in for questioning.
Anything new?
No, nothing yet.
He seems calm and cooperative, casual even. The detective wants to know more about their relationship.
So, I know a friend of mine who owns a restaurant, and she works over there.
He tells them he met Roaa through a mutual friend who owned a restaurant where she worked. They'd been friends for a few months. Just friends, he insists.
And, we kind of became friends, and she's married and everything.
Hamza reveals something shocking. Roaa has a dangerous stalker. It's her ex-husband, Fahad. She had full custody of their son and a protection order against Fahad, but he kept showing up, watching her, following her. She told Hamza she didn't feel safe.
When the first time we met, she was telling me about times he comes in, because he's like, I have a lot of friends that comes in, like, like family friends, and sometimes he comes and he just creeps and stuff like that.
But that wasn't the only surprising disclosure. Hamza tells them the last time he saw her was October 16th, the very night she went missing. They hung out, talked, smoked hookah, but Roaa was on edge. Interestingly, in their search of the house, police saw hookah standing in a corner. A second search of the house turned up something unusual. The hookah was missing its pipe. Hamza said that night, Roaa kept checking the peephole, afraid her ex was outside.
So then at 6:35, I told her that I have to leave. And I was gonna leave, and then she wanted to check from the little thing by the door if he's there, because sometimes he gets in, and he was there.
What do you mean she checked? What did she check?
Like there's a door and there's a little
The
eye
peephole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I said, she's a real afraid of it,
Okay.
Like not afraid, but I would say like, she doesn't want any problems with it, So then, and she was kind of all worried and stuff like that.
Roaa was afraid for her life. Even after her divorce, custody battle, and restraining order, she didn't feel safe. What Hamza says next would turn this missing person case into something far more serious.
And I was like, well, what do you mean to do? Like, if you want, I can leave. I don't care.
Right.
So
So she looks out the peephole and
like from the little
he's in
thing.
the hallway?
Yeah. He was in the hallway.
She could see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was there.
Fahad Saeed, her ex, was standing right outside her door, looking for trouble.
Well, what exactly did she say to you?
Okay, she was like, he was like, I don't care, you can wait, and and you can come in. But he said that because it's like like I told you, the Arabic community, especially the Arab community, people talk about each other, blah 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 blah, all mumbling. So and for a woman, if something came up, there's a guy went over her house or friends went over her house, and and she's a woman. And she's, been married and now she's, divorced. That's kind of like a big deal for them. So then I told her, what am I to do? I can leave from doors.
Roaa has a lot on her plate. Her stalker ex, the risk of being shunned by her community.
So then she tells me, just get out of the back, and I was like, sure.
Her solution is to sneak him out. Suddenly, the missing hookah pipe turns into a potential piece of evidence. Is it connected to Roaa's disappearance? Possibly used to take her life? Since Fahad had already violated his restraining order, the police have grounds to bring him in for questioning. October 25th, 2016, 1 p.m. Detectives showed up at Fahad's workplace with a warrant.
Is there someone in your human resources department we can speak to? We need to talk to this place.
Okay, which employee?
You're looking for Fahad Muhammad Saeed.
Come in, I'll have somebody call him off the floor.
HR leads them to Fahad working in the back room, calm, cooperative, and friendly.
Hi. Detective Capital at Lakewood Police. How are you? Speak English a little bit. Okay. All right, come on in here.
Good-naturedly, he leads them down to talk. He doesn't appear too surprised. Now, whether or not that is a translation barrier is left to be seen.
We're going to arrest you. You violated your temporary protection order. Yes. So you're under arrest. Okay? Do you have any weapons, anything sharp, knives? No.
Arrested for violating the protection order, the smile never leaves his face. The arrest goes smoothly, and at the station, the detectives tell him Roaa is also missing. Fahad stays composed, speaking through a translator.
Could you tell me the last time that you saw your ex-wife?
Do you know what day in particular?
16. جتني على البيت. She came to my house.
Why did she go to your house?
She dropped off.
Did she tell you where she was going?
She was going to Michigan, to Detroit.
حفلة كانت.
Function, like a party.
قالت لي ثاني يوم أنا جاي.
And she said that she would be right back the following day.
He tells the police that Roaa dropped off their son around 11 p.m. on October 16th, saying she was heading to a party in Detroit and would return the following day. But she never came back for him. Why would she leave her son with someone she feared, especially when the court order barred Fahad from seeing the child. The story didn't add up. Now, Fahad was the last known person to see her. He was booked into Cuyahoga County Jail. By now, police have conducted a second search of the house and discovered the broken pieces of the hookah and the missing pipe. So how did Hamza smoke hookah with Roaa? That inconsistency is enough to bring Hamza back in for questioning.
So, you say that you went there to smoke hookah?
Yeah.
Did you bring a hookah?
She has her own hookah.
Okay, and describe it to me.
It's a two-piece. Like a bowl, and then it goes a metal piece, and then it goes the head. And then it goes a hose.
The detective proceeds to poke a hole in his story.
So, the hose?
Yeah.
We've been to her apartment. I found the hookah, but I didn't find the hose. You know, and I didn't find a mouthpiece. So I'm just trying to figure this out.
Hamza looks confused and does not explain. But the detective's next question would trigger him.
For somebody who's 22 to say, I went to the house to chill, smoke hookah, that to me means you're probably over there
banging
for a relationship.
There's no relationship, zero,
okay,
between me and her.
Hamza gets defensive and comes up with a weak guarantee.
I guarantee you on everything. There is absolutely zero. And, you know, I do have a girlfriend and we're getting married.
Detectives shift tactics to shake him.
So, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Is the concern that word of you being there would get out to your girlfriend?
I mean, I don't care as long as you guys find her. But at the same time, I care about my reputation.
Detectives offer him a polygraph test.
Did you assist in Roaa's disappearance?
No.
Are you now located within the state of Ohio?
Yes.
Have you ever committed a traffic offense? No. Are you certain you had nothing to do with Roaa's disappearance?
Yes.
This method of mixing up questions ensures the administrator has a baseline to check if Hamza is lying. But he doesn't appear to be. Meanwhile, Fahad's call records showed a number contacted around the time Roaa vanished. The number belonged to Ammar Sami, a friend of Fahad's. Location data shows Ammar had been right outside Roaa's apartment that night. That makes him a key person of interest. November 19th, 2016. Ammar is brought in for questioning via interpreter.
The day I'm focusing on is the 16th of October, the day that you were at work.
9:30 he left the work. Before that, Fahad called him. 7:30. Around 7:30 called him. Yeah, he said, I'm here and I'm gonna be home in about 10 o'clock. I went to his house, close to his house, and like in the street, I called him and he came down. They went to like a convenience store to bring some cigarettes.
The detective isn't convinced. Phone data put Ammar outside Roaa's apartment during the window she vanished. The story seems too cut, clean, and easy. So the detective lays out exactly what is at stake here.
If we find out that she is harmed, the people responsible go to prison. If people are not citizens, you could be subject to deportation.
There's no problems. I'm really ready to help with anything.
And it doesn't mean deportation with you and your wife. That means you deportation. Wife stays here.
I'm ready for anything if I'm involved.
I'm ready for anything, but what I really would like to have is the truth.
Ammar holds his ground. There isn't much to be done at this point. If Ammar's trip to Walmart didn't line up, his entire story could fall apart. So they obtain the CCTV footage, and what they find immediately discredits Ammar's story. There was his car pulling into the lot, but the moment the passenger door opened, the truth came out. Fahad had been with Ammar that night. Camera after camera confirms it. Both men walked into the store. Together, they headed to the hardware aisle, and Fahad reappeared holding in his hand a 6-foot digging shovel. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a critical moment. Right after Roaa disappeared, the man she feared bought a shovel with a witness. Subsequently, they bring Ammar back in and show him the footage.
Of our investigation, we went to Walmart. When we watched this video, we saw something very interesting. What do you think we saw?
But Ammar doesn't confess.
I've had a lot of surgeries and I take a lot of sedatives. I may have forgotten something. Before I sat down with you last time, I told you I have problems and I take medications. I may have forgotten something. I have no problem. Help you any way I can.
Why couldn't you remember these new details before?
It depends on the question they ask. But it's probably
يعني مو انه قصد انه ما اتذكر او على مود اشكال او شيء يعني مو شيء واضح قدامكم.
It's not on purpose. I told you everything.
He deflects and tries to downplay the omission. But it wasn't just a slip. It was a calculated move that obstructed the investigation. He is arrested on the spot. And just when the case was growing cold, a single phone call shattered everything. With both Fahad and Ammar behind bars, Roaa was still missing. The trail was going cold. Months passed. Then, just as time was running out, the phone rang, and on the other end was the lead that changed everything.
Lakewood Police and Fire.
Hi, yes, I have information about a missing person.
Okay.
Her name is Roaa. It's Roaa.
Right.
I don't know how to say her last name. But
I know who you're talking about, though.
Luckily, the dispatcher is aware of the investigation.
It's on Friday after work. My boyfriend called me and said he didn't tell me what was said. I'm like, his wife is missing. What's that about? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, that's weird. He's like, yeah. So then when he told me on Friday, because he's like, I'm getting a little nervous, this guy's getting paranoid or something like that. And I was like, okay. So I don't know, but I just wanted to tell you guys, whatever information you need to know.
The caller's boyfriend was Fahad's cellmate. This was the break that would bust this case wide open. Fahad's cellmate saw an opportunity. They bonded over a shared language, Arabic, and as trust built, so did the details. Fahad began to talk, and his cellmate took advantage of this trust. Fahad gave him a hand-drawn map that would finally reveal the truth about the night of the 16th. Detectives picked him up.
What is this right here? First, you want me to tell you why he drew this? He wanted me to move my body.
Fahad thought he'd found a friend and let his guard down. In that false trust, he revealed everything, including where to find Roaa. For the first time, detectives had a real lead, but before they could act, they needed the full story. On the night of October 16th, Fahad used a key to quietly slip into Roaa's apartment. Creeping down the hallway, he saw her bedroom door slightly ajar. He walked in on Roaa and Hamza being intimate. Fahad didn't react, at least not in front of Roaa. Instead, he watched silently, then pulled out his phone and recorded the scene. The plan was to show the community who she truly was. What happened next, he never fully explained. But he did admit to one thing. He buried Roaa, not in panic or fear, but with a purpose. He chose a place where silence could cover what he'd done. But secrets buried in the ground don't always stay hidden, and this one was about to surface.
On May 15, 2017, officers and agents from the FBI's evidence response team gathered at the site marked on the crude map. After hours of searching, one of the FBI supervisors took a shovel and struck something just beneath the surface.
7 months after Roaa disappeared, on May 15, 2017, local police and FBI agents finally found Roaa. Not alive, but no longer hidden.
We began digging a little bit more around this area and started to smell decomposition. And we knew that this was the spot. We knew we had most likely found her, which was a relief to us.
It was time to uncover the truth. Only Fahad could explain the inconsistencies in his story. All they needed now was his confession.
You were very angry when you saw her in bed with this other guy.
If I wanted to, I would have killed the two of them.
Right. But he was gone when you went back up to her apartment. It seems more convenient to me that you would go back up to her apartment once that guy is gone and confront her there regarding what you had seen, since you were right there.
Fahad knows he can't run from the law any longer, but he isn't being entirely honest.
You didn't have time to leave. You went back up to her apartment after that guy left, and you confronted Roaa in her apartment about what you saw.
Fahad claimed he saw Roaa in bed with Hamza, but didn't act until Hamza left. That's when things escalated. Was this an attempt to show he was a rational person? Similarly, he told the jailhouse informant he recorded the encounter, but no video was ever found. Was this a lie to protect his image and shift the blame onto Roaa? Fahad changed his story yet again. This time, he claimed Roaa had willingly come back to his apartment that night with their child and reconciled with him. They slept together. Then, Fahad woke up in the middle of the night to find Roaa missing from the bed. He went to look for her and found her in the kitchen.
At that point, sometime in the middle of the night, Fahad claims that he was restless, he wasn't sleeping.
I'm looking at her, she's coming my way. She thinks I'm sleeping, but I'm wide awake and I'm watching her come towards me.
He went to look for her and found her in the kitchen. He said he saw her with a knife, that he panicked and tried to stop her. In the chaos, he grabbed her from behind and choked her, claiming it was instinct, not intent. He wanted to disarm her. When it was over, he didn't call for help or check if she was still alive. He just accepted that she was gone and quickly thought of covering up his heinous crime.
I know that she's dead. I put her in a bag. So I ended up putting the bag in her car, took the shovel, took her to the park. I dug up a hole for about 2 hours, buried her.
That's not the worst part. The worst part is that Roaa's 3-year-old son saw his father savagely take his mother's life. The truth was finally out, and it was worse than anyone had imagined. On January 18, 2018, Fahad Muhammad Saeed pled guilty to the involuntary manslaughter of Roaa Al Dhanoon, along with charges of kidnapping and burglary. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison, followed by deportation to Iraq. His friend, Ammar Sami, was convicted of obstruction for helping cover up the crime and sentenced to 18 months. Roaa rebuilt her life and fought for a future on her own terms. Like this video to show solidarity for Roaa's tragedy. Comment to give your support for her son, who had to face such horror so early in life.